got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of signs, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. It's running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Down in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And what's up, everybody? It is a Tuesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. We got CJ, we got Donnie, we got Amo, and, well, yours truly, DJ Yoakley. Guys, we're got an interesting topic today. We've covered it a multitude of times, maybe not from your perspective, but we've covered it on this show. It is how to handle a blowout situation, how to handle it both when you're on one side and the other, and how parents and fans should handle it. Because, my goodness, high school sports, amateur sports, we'll address it. But first, of course, we have to get to our national day that is. And once the pop-ups go away, I'll be able to tell you exactly what it is. Today is National Intellectuals Day. So, who is your favorite intellectual, and do you consider yourself, I don't, an intellectual at all? CJ, start us off.
Oh, goodness. I should know this, right? Because I study, I'm in college, so we learn about these kind of stuff, but probably, I'll go Einstein. He's just interesting.
Einstein is your favorite intellectual?
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
Really, no, because I don't like science. But he's we utilize a lot of his quotes, and it's the first name that came to my mind.
See, I figured that was more the case right there. First name that came to your mind.
Yeah.
Donnie, I consider you an intellectual. Talk to me about your favorite intellectual that you know.
You're far too kind, DJ. My favorite, I can't even say the word.
All right, I take it back.
Intellectual is Bill Nye the Science Guy. I loved watching his show.
Is that it? That's the whole shebang? What just happened?
I'm not sure.
What just happened? All right. So we got one vote for. We're dropping like flies here. Pretty soon it's going to be a one-on-one. We're going to have
rough Wi-Fi day.
This is going to feel like Dateline for you, man. Abo's back. Abo, you all right?
Oh, dude, you guys were chipmunks, and then my phone wouldn't let me copy and paste the link, so it took me a while.
Your favorite intellectual, and do you consider yourself an intellectual?
Absolutely not. Far from it. My wife probably. She is this. You want to know anything trivia? She knows the dumbest stuff. I mean, just really smart. Probably my wife.
The boys are coming in now.
Man, Donnie and I had some problems there.
Well, let me tell you, I think people just mess with me now. Every time we start the show, somebody has to call me and mess up the feed. I swear to God, they know I'm on the show from 3 to 4, and they do it on purpose.
We've had that before.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. John Dewey. Like the Dewey Decimal System guy? Is that John Dewey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Intellectual. Donnie, finish your thought. I know you started down a path and then with Bill Nye, and then it just completely went.
No, I was gonna say, like, I loved watching his show all the time, and I don't even remember how long he was on for, or maybe he started after Pee Wee Herman. But my God, Bill Nye the Science Guy had so many cool things, so he's definitely my dude.
I like it. Rob, are you an intellectual?
Depending on who you talk to.
There it is.
I consider myself a bit of on the educated side of things.
You are. I think you are. I think we have a lot of intellectuals. In fact, all of you guys, I would say, are intellectuals because of the way you present yourself. But Rob, my question for you, and this might be a slippery slope, who is your favorite intellectual?
Jesus God.
That's a good one.
My favorite? I'll tell you right now, I do not have a favorite intellectual. I didn't start this intellectual crap until after high school. I was a troublemaker. I was misguided. There was a lot of extracurricular activity after high school that kind of slowed me down in my older age, and then I just started YouTube and stuff and educated myself.
That's how Rob should start.
I'm going to say that one of my favorite intellects is probably myself, because I don't really have any role models or anything to go off on. So
I thought he might say that.
I didn't start any of this intellectual crap until after high school. The Rob Mush story.
I want to make sure everybody understands. I'm not claiming to be some genius either. I just I've always been good with words and am able to put them together pretty decently when I need to. Sometimes I can come off as an absolute jerk, but sometimes it makes sense. So
sometimes do you ever have a situation, Rob, where you're actually giving somebody the business, but they walk away feeling like you just patted them on the back?
I'm actually very good at making people feel good about themselves actually while I'm ripping them apart. So I've adapted that very well. I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
You just struck me as the kind of guy that is really good at that. And people go, that Mush, he's a class act. He's a great guy. And you're sitting there just tearing them apart.
It's funnier when somebody else is around and they realize what's going on and they're trying not to laugh while I'm doing it. That's always entertaining. Not all the time though, just when the people need them.
My favorite intellect is I really, really have been impressed lately with Elon Musk and what he's doing and the way that he's doing it. But forever, I really, really like Steve Jobs. I mean, Steve Jobs is a guy that nobody took seriously. You know, when the Macintosh came out and then the iPhone and the iPod, it revolutionized the way we do things. I mean, think about the iPhone today. My goodness. Like, if we left it up to Android and that was it, I don't know where we would be. We would still be on razors, right? Those Motorola razors that are this thin and flat as anything. But the iPhone kind of it's a rivalry between obviously between Apple and the Droid. So I really like what Steve Jobs did. I got to listen. excuse me. I got to listen to a little bit of his story. And those who know it already, I'm sure. I mean, he's got an entire movie. I think Ashton Kutcher played Steve Jobs, right, in his documentary. Mm-hmm. So, I'm a big Steve Jobs guy. Like I don't know near enough about him, and I've been, there's a lot of, I don't want to call myself Steve Jobs by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a lot of similarities between what he did at Macintosh and Apple and what YSN is going through right now. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. Rob, would you like to take the reins on the Baird Brothers Would You Rather?
All right. Would you rather never be able to eat your favorite food again or foods, or go to prison for 1 year?
That is a hard slide down the hill right there.
Wow.
And you could tell everybody what your favorite food is before you answer the question too.
I have so many favorite foods.
Oh no.
That's why it's tough. I think I'd go to prison for a year. I'm getting 3 meals a day, and it'd be like a vacation.
Just don't drop the soap.
At this point, I think I'd get and I hear they have Wi-Fi now. I don't know. I don't understand it. And if you're an Office fan, you know the episode I'm referring to. But Dunder Mifflin is worse than prison. So prison DJ is going to have to come out with the Dementors.
Prison DJ.
CJ.
That's a really good one. I'm sort of in agreement. I think I would just take the prison time, come back and have myself some nice chicken wings. I can't give up on those.
Can we get out early on
Good behavior?
Good behavior.
No, you got to sit for 1 year. Or I'll tell you what, even if it's to make it even maybe a little bit easier or feasible, let's say 10 years on the food instead of forever. Let's go 10 years.
I'm definitely doing prison.
Or
I'm only down 9
prison
years.
time.
I'm down to 9 years by the time I get out of the clink. Amo, go.
Prison. I love my chicken.
This is backfired on you, Rob. You didn't believe any of us would choose prison.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't think they were going to answer so easily and quick. I mean, let's keep in mind here, guys. We don't have to go into details. We don't have to go into details, but your pretty pale butts aren't that safe in prison. I mean, you might be regretting your decision here. Here's what I'll say. The thought of never eating, let's say, like steak or seafood, things like that, never being able to go to Don DeVito's again, or I don't know, Springfield Grill Auberinis. I'll tell you right now, me personally, I'll do a year standing on my head when it comes to that stuff. And when you say don't drop the soap, well, sometimes you might want to drop soap depending on how good your commissary got to be. So you got to know your role in these things. You're not ready. Everybody says prison so easily. Trust me, it's not that easy of a decision. But me personally, I would do the year in prison.
They got bigger TVs than I do in prison
Oh.
now.
Yeah, you can play chess. You can work out with the guys. I mean, come on.
Oh my
Go to
God.
prison and get buff.
Here's the true test. Our true intellect. Donnie Riccatelli is
Here
going
we
to set
go.
us straight.
I am not going to prison. I'm telling you that right now. Listen. My favorite food is obviously wings, but why do we love wings? Why do we love wings? Is it the sauce? Is it the texture of the wing? Is it whatever? Me, I like the wings because it's the sauce. I can do that sauce on ribs. I can do that sauce on steak. I am not going to prison. I could go work out with the fellas at the Y. I am not going to prison. So, by the way, my favorite food is chicken wings. I like them extra crispy. La Villa's are the best in the area, and the best in Ohio, I should say, because our gang's over in PA has the best wings.
Let me ask you a question. If you like crispy wings, have you tried Big Shot Bob's?
Well, let me explain something to you about Big Shot Bob's. I love that guy to death. When I was sent, when I had to go to the hospital with COVID, I was one of the first people in the Valley. I used to go into Big Shot Bob's so many times that he actually was worried about me, didn't know that I was in the hospital, and sent wings to my house.
Wow.
I love the Frankie Valleys from Big Shot Bob's are amazing. But he's not open right now because he can't find a quality wing and he's not going to serve anybody crap. So
Wow.
so
Love
he's good. He's good on holding out. But no, honest to goodness, Big Shot Bob's is new to Ohio,
Yeah,
but
new to Ohio.
and obviously Lavilla's been around forever, and or you could get the broasted wings over at Elmton, but
They're
our
falling
gang's
apart
over.
too.
Yeah, they are. Our gang's over in Sharon, unbelievable. So
Unbeatable.
yeah,
Can't beat them.
What's the best sauce to get?
you know what? I'm one of those guys where like you mix the sauces. So like I'm an ultimate sauce. I'm a Inner Circle has a bomb diggity sauce. It's one of those things that I never go. I'm never ordinary. I never go with a straight barbecue, a straight hot, straight anything. I want to try your best, and I want to try a myriad of your best. So I'm a mix. You got to mix the sauces.
Now, I know you're not a Steeler fan. Have you tried the black and gold at BS?
The black and gold at BSBs are amazing. And listen, have you ever had the black ops at BSBs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Forget it. So
Yeah, it's if you haven't had Big Shot Bob's, and obviously Donnie letting us
What
know-
sauce you get at La Villa then, Donnie?
I usually go with now La Villa. Let's take that back because I usually go with like a hot barbecue at La Villa. I love their wings. I love the garlic. I love everything. I love everything about La Villa. So I'm a pig when I go to La Villa. I get the salad with a bunch of cheese and their French dressing because their French dressing just sits out. They may have not put that French dressing away for 10 years. It's definitely given me antibodies. But I get that. I get the fried bologna sandwich with the hot peppers and provolone. It's amazing. And I get a dozen wings. I'm a pig when I go. It's just the best.
Is that
Great
Strawberry?
food.
That's in
Yeah,
Strawberry.
I'm a regular there. I go there every Friday after poker, and I'll tell you what, the food, we eat out. We'll get to go there for sometimes 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, and
Great
their
food,
pasta
though.
sauce is amazing too. I just never get a chance to eat
Yeah.
that because I'm eating everything else. So
Love it.
My wife just texted me and said my mic is lower than everybody else. I'm sitting
It
back
is.
today.
it is low.
Is it better now?
Yeah, way better.
Okay. It usually helps when you're close to the microphone. So from La Villa, so I don't want to say who has the best wings. Tailgate food. That's the kind of stuff we need to talk about. Like if you're going to tailgate and you don't want to make it yourself, what kind of stuff are you taking, and where do you take it from here in the Valley? Or CJ, Western PA. I know you've got a lot of connections over there. But you've also done your fair share of eating over in Northeast Ohio. So let's not get carried away here. Don't get smug with me today, young man. I know that you've done your fair share of eating here in Youngstown. Amo, where's the place you're going? And what are you taking with you?
Our gang's wings.
I've never heard about this before today, and I've heard about it 6 times. We got people in the chat commenting.
I'm trying to think of another place, but
What makes them so
wings
good?
are perfect. Everything. Their
He's got-
sauce, their wings.
You think Big Shot Bob's has a lot of sauces? I think our gang's probably triples the sauces.
Get out of town.
No joke. No
and they're
joke.
all I've tried. I don't want to say every sauce, but their sauces are all phenomenal, and their wings are just really good.
That's where
Original.
we used to spend time in college. We would go over
That's a
to
good one.
the Lube in Sharon. But now there's a Lube in Salem that we can go to. And I think there's one in Boardman as well.
Where's the one in Salem now?
Bone Shakers?
Bone Shakers. Okay. Yeah.
I work right.
Well, if you want proof that the
so-
phones are listening to us, I typed in R in Google, and I've never been to R Gang. R Gang was the first one.
Gotta try it.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out.
It's good.
It's
We had
legit.
If you like wings, I'm telling you, you're not gonna
Huge fan of wings.
Not gonna
What
be
other?
disappointed.
I mean, what other places do you know has like just solid wings? Like you're not going to be disappointed.
I'll tell you what, if
Risers.
you guys ever,
Risers.
Donnie, I was actually gonna ask you if you ever had El Cowboy.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
Mexican restaurant.
Oh yeah. Listen.
And I guess their wings. I had their wings once, but I guess some of their flavors are phenomenal.
Yeah, Israel Zambrano, who owns El Cowboy and Los Gallos, his wings, like for basketball, we used to take the girls there for a team feed all the time. He would put out a taco bar and wings, and the wings were phenomenal. But he doesn't have all the flavors. He has a hot, he has a barbecue, you know what I mean? But they're so good. Like anybody that can make a nice crispy wing, I'm in. But risers, They do
Very
theirs
good.
they cook theirs in a
my
duck confit, which falls off the bone. I'm not kidding. Like you literally have to pick it up with two hands because if you pick it up with one, you're just gonna pull the bone out. It's so good. But there are so many places with great food and great wings. We are so blessed in this area.
Yeah.
What's
So-
one? I guess we have to verify, and I'm getting text messages. What makes a good wing? So when you're judging them, basically it's like pizza. You have to have just a cheese pizza to judge who has the best pizza, right? So wings is a little different because everybody likes a different flavor of wing, and it can get carried away. So what if you're judging who has the best wings? Are we judging it off of who has the best like buffalo wing, or is it who has the best wing in general?
Wing.
Yeah, I say wing.
I'd say wing in general.
And what makes it just the crispness?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you got to get the right crispiness too, because I mean sometimes Lavilla can actually mess this up for me as well if I don't say it right. Because if you get that wing, and if you go to bite it, like me personally, I've actually transitioned into the flats more than the actual the ding or whatever
I
you
love
call
flats.
it. But sometimes if you go to depending on where you get it from, I'm gonna try. I don't want to bash anybody, but there's been times where you get just pizza and wings, and you got to eat that wing. And then it almost feels like it wasn't cooked all the way.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest turnoffs when it comes to the wings. If that happens to me, I get so just downgrade, just upset right then and there that I know damn well I'm not finishing the rest of these 9 wings. So, but it's got to be the right crispiness. That's huge.
I'd be remiss if there's another really, really hidden gem. Sandwich Factory wings in Columbia are really, really good. He does the things a little bit different, but I'd be really, really remiss if I didn't bring up Crickets. Crickets in Youngstown, their wings are legit. And I'm telling you, we are so blessed. And after I call the game tonight on YSN for Boardman Uniontown Lake, my butt's getting some wings.
Yeah, I was
right.
Me
I'm
too.
thinking about it right now. I'm serious about to go out to our game tonight.
Pizza Joe's, and I'm not just saying that because
Yep.
it's their sponsor here in Palestine. At least that's the only Pizza Joe's that I go to. Leonard's the man, by the way. Their
Gotta
wings
get the
are
JoJo's.
incredible. Like
I don't think I've ever had Pizza Joe's wings.
they're so good, and the crazy thing, we were the beta testers for their newest sauce. Like in the entire, I don't know, is Pizza Joe's like a country thing or is it just regional?
Joe Simonero owns the majority. He's the original owner. He owns or has his part in 68 Pizza Joe's, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Newcastle guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I believe it's regional.
we were beta.
Yeah, they're
testing-
regional now.
Beta testing wing sauces for Pizza Joe's here at YSN this fall. It was awesome.
Well, there's a place in and I'm gonna forget the name. I know I am, but my best friend was telling me about this last month, and I haven't tried them yet. But he said I want to say it's the Lynx at Firestone. It's a restaurant, I believe.
Risers.
I'm not.
Risers.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Is that what you just said?
Yeah,
Okay.
There's
So
one in Boardman.
I have never had them, but my buddy said, "Listen, I don't care what you do, you've got to get there and you've got to try them because once you do, you'll be going."
You're gonna get if you get the dry rub, you're gonna get the CRB.
Yep.
If you
CRB, he did say that.
Yeah.
CRB.
If you
I
get the
remember that.
wet sauce, you're gonna do their lime ginger. It is
Oh,
stupid
mama.
good. Stupid good.
I would
I
never
love
think to
their
get that
lime
either.
Yeah.
It's good. You'll love it.
Guess who's going?
He
to
said
Risers
something about the
tonight?
hot garlic something.
That's awesome too. You're not going to go wrong with anything. They use Gerber chicken, which is like ridiculous, like juicy fat chicken. It's so good.
My wife says that she's going to have chicken noodle soup tonight. I got some news for her. I think she's going to get some risers to go.
Yeah.
Back at the old yokel house. So interesting, guys. We got a lot to talk about. One of the biggest ones, Rob. You actually commented on it. You saw it right before the show. I saw your Facebook post.
Oh yeah.
Sarah, my wife just said her mouth is watering for wings. So guess what? We're getting some wings. Handling a blowout win and a blowout loss. We've covered it on this show before several times, as a matter of fact. But it's seemingly this time every year, it keeps coming up. And last night we had one with Springfield and Sebring girls that people don't even realize. They just see the score and they start complaining about the outcome and not knowing what went into it. And it's unfortunate, because, players handle it very well for the most part, right? You understand what's at stake. For the most part, they're not going out there to embarrass the other team, and you don't want to be embarrassed by the other squad. If you're down by 60 points or whatever it may be, baseball, football, basketball, volleyball even. But it happens, right? It happens. There's bad nights and there's good nights, and sometimes they happen at the same time. So in a perfect world, CJ, how do you handle being on the good side of a blowout victory?
So to be on sort of, the good side, I would say once you hit a certain limit of how many points you score, if you're ahead, I'll use baseball for an example, just because that's my sport. When I'm up by 10, that's the number I use. When I'm up by 10, I take my starters out. I start putting guys in, the bench guys. If you're still scoring points after that, to me, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, of course, you don't want to leg out, a triple when it should be just a double, or, you don't want to try to leg out a double, whatever it may be, or, but like the scenario came up, when was it, in 2020, when the Padres were beating up on Texas, and Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a grand slam, and people had a problem with that. First off, it's the big leagues. It doesn't matter what the score is. You need to, you're boosting up them points, right? So, but in high school sports, I mean, I've always been, if you're up by 10, put the brakes on. At some point the mercy rule's in effect. I'm not quite sure how it works for basketball. I know there's a running clock.
35 points.
Yeah, so
I saw it twice on Saturday and Sunday.
Right. So, but at some point, yeah, of course, you want to put your reserve guys in.
Amo, from your standpoint, being on the winning side of a blowout, how do you handle it, and essentially, what do you tell your team?
I did a couple of Springfield games this year in football, and I tell you what, you want to talk about a team that handles blowouts the right way? They looked to Sean Guerrero in Springfield. He would take the kids out if they were up by like 3 or 4 before halftime. He kind of took the brakes off and then would let Bo come out and the starters come out for their first series, and then put the backups in and keep calling the same stuff. But I don't know. I've never been in. I mean, when I was at West Branch, we never really blew people out. We were on the opposite end, unfortunately, to Louisville, especially to Louisville. But Sean Guerrero does it the right way. I don't know too many other coaches that respect a coach like they do Sean. Like, just talking to Coach Seidel, he said he couldn't like Guerrero anymore because of how he does it. Like when he did when Springfield came to Sebring this year, they didn't return a punt, didn't return a kickoff, and used no trick plays and didn't do any tosses. It was all between the tackles from the opening kickoff.
Yeah, I think there's
every time this guys have played, that's what it is.
There's a lot to that, right? And certainly Sean's one of several that, and I shouldn't even say several, one of many that are very good at that around here, because this area is littered with extreme talent and teams that are on the come up, and
yep.
You're constantly dealing with that balance, because as Sigler said, it's very tricky, because as a coach you have to prepare your team, because if you take it easy on these guys, you still have another, in basketball it could be days away, football it's a week away, baseball it could be the next day, or it could be the next hour that you've got to get yourself pumped up for a doubleheader. Donnie, from your standpoint, how do you keep your team locked in?
I'm fortunate enough to talk with so many coaches all the time still in our area. Like, you got to understand that if you are beating somebody that bad, let's go with the Springfield Sebring game. It's almost more embarrassing if you start driving to the hole, and then you have this wide open layup, but oh, you're just going to pull it back out. That Sebring coach would want you to make that layup. I'm telling you that right now. You cannot underestimate how embarrassing it is for a program to have somebody sit there and just take the ball, do whatever they want, make 10 passes before you score, this, that, the other. No, your team is better. Your team was more prepared. You have it's hats off and move on to the next game, because and I'm sure most of my coaching buddies would agree with me that you never want to treat a team that disrespectful, when you really look. I mean, 70-9, it is what it is. 61 points. I mean, we just lost to Akron Hoban on a running clock on Sunday night by 49, and it was 49-14 or 49-15 at halftime. So Hoban never let up. And you respected them for that, because it doesn't do anybody any good. It still shows that you're far more inferior than them, and it just doesn't do anybody any good by playing that type of game. So if you're a better team, you're a better team, and hats off to you.
Is it weird to say that, in sports, I've been, at least from my standpoint, I've been taught that you want to die a warrior's death?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to, listen, if you know you lost, go out there and show me why you're better. Because
Right.
I want to learn to be better. I have to raise my game. With all due respect, and Springfield did this last night, and kudos to them, because they're constantly under this expectation to let up on teams, and then we get all over them whenever they don't beat teams in big situations. That's a double-edged sword. That's not. It goes to what you said, Donnie. For being able to prepare yourself, you sign up for it, right?
Right.
And I understand that, and Rob, I'm sure, is going to get to this in a second, because there's a lot of finger wagging going on social media today, especially on that one post. And shame on me, because I actually thought about last night. I'm the one that actually posted that particular score. We split it up last night. I actually thought for a moment, maybe I shouldn't post this, because I knew what was going to happen. But why should I take that opportunity away from Springfield?
100%.
They got the victory, the same that the other teams did on the network last night. And
Exactly.
it's still showcasing Sebring. People want to know, and even like we talk about East Palestine being one of those teams, having trouble getting victories, but they still want their kids' names to be out there. You still want your face to be out there, and Grandma doesn't care about whether you won or lost the game. She wants to see her baby boy on the front of the newspaper, on the front of our website. So that's why I ended up doing it. That was the voice in my head that said, listen, you made a pitch to these schools. You have to do right by them. I can't control the score, and sometimes neither can they. The coaches can't either. Rob, the red carpet.
All right, so I could dance around this probably for the rest of the show, but of course I'm going to try and sew this up pretty quick. I'll give you a really good example. There's two type of people that look at that post and act a certain way. My son is 9 years old. He's on the all-star team for Boardman Spartans, and the parents were kind of allowed to be in the practice that week before this actual playoff game with the other all-star group. And my son's getting his ass handed to him by this kid as a lineman. My son was one of the best linemen at that time in this game. And this kid's just beating his ass the whole practice. And, I see him getting down. I walked right up to him. I said, let me tell you something. And I walked right up to the kid. His dad was standing right there. And I said, I'm going to tell you something right now. Whatever you do, do not let up on him. I want you to hand him his ass the rest of this practice. And I looked at my son and I said, this is how you get better at whatever you're doing. You play against somebody that's better than you, and that person will eventually make you better at the sport. So going forward, seeing that post and then seeing everybody's comments and knowing that I have to be very politically correct in the name of representing YSN, and I'll tell you that, if something like that is shared on my timeline and somebody jumps on there with their opinion that way, I'm going to educate them very ferociously on how bad they seem and sound when they make those comments. And here's why. The coaches and the players and probably a decent amount of the parents did not react to that post negatively.
Right.
And here's why. They knew what was going on. All right, they knew that in this game, Springfield did not leave their starters in for 4 quarters to annihilate another team just to do it. Springfield did not leave their backups in to keep annihilating another team just to do it. Springfield had their freshmen playing in this game to basically give them some playing time and go against. And hey, guess what? Seabrook did. They had a bad night. And these things happen. And the first thing you think of when you read those comments are, in my opinion, how, and I'm not going to say these people are stupid. These people are probably very smart. In regards to understanding how it went for this game, what I will say is that they are uneducated. They don't know what happened. All they did was see a lopsided score and automatically assume that nobody got a participation trophy last night, and they felt the need to go in there and chastise anybody that would share anything on YSN. And when you think about it, it's a local high school game. We're here to give everybody these games, these highlights, these sports scores, and then all of a sudden, DJ has to explain himself because some people that have no idea what they're talking about jumped on a post and thought that they were going to be Captain Save Everybody on Facebook. Let me tell you how incorrect you guys are. You weren't there, you did not see the game, and you did not understand that Springfield let everybody play and was not trying to blow out United. They were trying to play a basketball game. And things like that can really get me going, especially for the people that don't take 2 seconds to take some time and research actually what happened, then go form your opinion.
Very true. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better myself in that situation. And I've said it before. We have become soft as baby doo-doo when it comes to, what things look like just on the surface, not digging into it. Like you said, Rob, let's look into the box score. Let's look into on max preps or whatever. The other thing that bothers me a little bit is these power rankings. And I knew we were gonna fight. Right, we were something we've never done. I get it. To approach us in a certain way, I don't mind clarifying why I voted a certain way. Or Donnie, I'm sure you don't mind doing the same thing. But to go on a rant and explain to us why we're wrong, you're entitled to your opinion. I get it. I'm not offended by it. But to call us out because there's favoritism towards one team or not. Listen, I've been told South Range. I favorite South Range. I favor Boardman. I favor Fitch. I favor the whatever team is winning. I've been called a front runner. So I'm going to explain this. There's a difference between a front runner and during the playoffs when all the other teams are gone, we highlight the team that's remaining or teams that are remaining a little more often because they're all that's left. That's not a front runner. That's doing our job. And it's always constant. And I hate to sound like a guy that's complaining because I'm not. But if you're going to call me out on it publicly, I'm going to explain it on our platform and say this is why we do it. I get heat because we favor Springfield. I get heat because we favor JFK. We favor South Range. Those were the teams remaining, right? And Ursuline as well. What am I supposed to do? Cover the season in review for 46
I'm not fans of any of those teams. I am not. I'm not a fan of Ursuline. I'm not a fan of South Range. I'm not a fan of Fitch. I am a fan of Struthers because I live here. I am kind of a fan of a Boardman because I grew up in Boardman. Mm-hmm. I have my Brookfield alum. Hell, I even made a stop in Niles real quick. But that's what drives me crazy. People just jump in, and because they know how to talk, they can just formulate any kind of opinion without knowing it. Listen, if you know everything and you have an opinion, hey, fine. Then we could probably debate and make sense when we go back and forth. But my disdain, and I'll probably just save this for the end and then spark, when people come out of the woodwork, you don't hear about them from nothing. And then all of a sudden, somebody pees on their doorstep, and here they come not knowing a damn thing. I'm not fans of these schools, but you know what? I am now. Because I'm here with you guys hanging out, and I get to watch all this stuff and get to watch Ursuline make that state run and get to watch Springfield try and do it again with my boy Guerrero and get to watch the South Range and all them guys hang out. Now we're fans. But to call somebody a front runner because they're still supporting the teams that are still in, how bad can you be at life? Come on.
And DJ, I'll tell you straight up, I will challenge anybody to come at me with any of their basketball knowledge for girls and boys, because I have known these kids since they were in 2nd and 3rd grade.
Sure.
This area, not just these kids. I understand I voted Bourbon number 1, but guess what? Bourbon has proven to me that they are the top team in this area with everybody healthy, and that's the key. I'm from Bourbon, yes. Okay, I'm actually from McDonald, number 1.
I was going to say you're a McDonald guy.
Yeah. Did I put McDonald on any one of those lists? No. Did I put my Bourbon girls basketball team on any one of those lists? Absolutely not. So anybody that wants to challenge anything like that, call us what you want to call us. I know these kids through and through. I know what kind of teams they are. I know what they run. I know the programs. So if you want to come at me, come at me. More power to you.
I'm just saying, if you think I'm a homer now, wait till the Bulldogs, the mighty East Palestine Bulldogs, rise up from the ashes and become a state champion. You don't want to be around me then. You don't want to be around me.
Between you and Chris Rutledge, I think you guys might burn the town down.
And that'll be it, man. Rutledge will be leading the place. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more on this, how to handle blowout. But fans, we got to talk about the fans. What's the right way? I got my theory. It's just keep on scrolling. Just like Dory says, keep on swimming. Keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and we'll also talk a little bit about some of the games from last night. Impressive win for Wellsville. First EOAC win of the year, and I think maybe in a couple years. We'll talk about some other big victories last night, and we'll talk about some big matchups tonight. We got 24 games on the network tonight. Nobody happier than this guy tonight. The website is the only place to be, and you are the VIP here on YSN. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Your Sports Network's Power Hour.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. DJ, CJ, Amo, we got the Dawn Father, and of course we got the Mush with us here today. Rob, there's somebody pointing to you. Let's go, Rob. Talk your talk. Must be all those Nickelback songs you've been listening to.
I haven't heard that in a while.
I know, that's been a minute since we had a Nickelback sighting. Interesting. People still coming after you with Nickelback. Question of the day, we'll get to that in a minute in the chat. Who's your least favorite school or schools you dislike the most growing up? I don't know if I want to do that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be some bad news for us at YSN. We'll talk. You know what? We'll twist it up and say the chat questions the most disliked team in sports for you. So start thinking about that one. The team that you can't stand. You'll never be able to root for, never be able to buy a jersey, never be able to do anything from that standpoint. Who is that team for you and why? We'll get that at the end of the show. Don't let me forget it because I'll do it. Back to the blowout stuff, guys. From a fan's perspective, how do fans handle, or how should they handle, a blowout loss? Because seeing it last night, it wasn't exactly. It was a blowout for a little bit, but you're almost waiting, and we as announcers have an interesting perspective because we are almost kind of in the background waiting for something to happen. Somebody just made a DJ Yoakley parody account. Okay. So from that standpoint, when fans start sparking, it could be a student section that sparks a parent or vice versa. How should fans act on both sides of that coin when there is a blowout? Should it just be dead silent like it was last night? Or should there be encouragement? Or what? How should this be? Rob is smiling, so this cannot be good.
Now, if you want to start this way, I mean, I'm not famous for, let's say, being asked what we should do, because my answer is usually not the right thing to do. I mean, me personally, not a lot of people are going to come out of the woodwork and admit this. Let me tell you something right now, and I don't care who's playing. I'll just say it. If I'm at a Struthers High School football game, and let's say it's cold as hell, and the other team's up by 28, I'm praying to God they go up to 30 and run that clock. Especially if this team is checking out. And you could tell when the team's like, all right, man, we ain't going to get this figured out. I don't care. I am not looking for any kind of comeback because I don't see it happening, whatever. I am looking for that continuous clock to happen so we can just get the hell out of there and say, hey, let's try this again next week. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you're going and talking about football or basketball, and let's say, I don't think I would have been at that game last night at Springfield and seen their student section going crazy because they're up by 70 points or 60 points. So if the student section starts reacting in a certain way, I mean, I can tell you as a fan and as an adult, you should probably just, hey, kind of in one ear and out the other. I don't think you definitely want to react to that. Other than that, you got to take it on the chin. What are you going to do? These things happen. And you're not going to win every game, and sometimes you're going to lose by a lot. You take it on the chin, you move on.
Amo?
With Rob, so at West Branch when I was there, we were pretty good at soccer. And there was a couple of times we just got outclassed. Like we went up and played Fitch, Boardman, who we had no business playing, right, as a Division II school. But just take it on the chin because it built us. It made us tougher for playoffs. I know Sebring. How do I want to say this?
It's tough.
Most people being been around there for a while, they know expectations and they know the team they have, right? And they know going into Springfield, not that they don't have a chance, because there is always a chance, right? I mean, there is, but they know most likely Springfield's going to win, but they're going to do it in a classy manner. They're not going to run the score up to 69 with their starters in. I mean, their starters were out way before that it was even in question, right? And they got girls in there that deserve some playing time. I don't see anything wrong with it, but I know a couple of the fans that they just do it to do it, to be that person, right? You're always going to have that.
Are those fans making it more about themselves than the game and the kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure those kids were upset, right? Nobody wants to lose by that much, but at the same time, those girls gave it their all. It's not like they, gave up. I mean, they were still trying the entire game. And Sam Mathias did a great job. give him a pat on the back. He was still coaching the girls up the entire game.
Big Sam fan. Big Sam fan.
It's going to go a long way for them.
Siegler says, best thing parents or
Exactly
fans
right.
can do is just be realistic and realize why you have them on the schedule. And that's
Exactly right.
exactly right. CJ, put a bow on this for me. Perfect situation as a fan, things that you should avoid when you're witnessing a blowout.
Well, avoid would be, irrational decisions, going on online and complaining about it. Or, at the end of the day, you really don't have a stake in those teams. For my teams, for my fans, other than them being the parents or friends of my players, you're not at my practices. You're not at, you're not invested in the team as heavily as my guys are. If we're not going online and complaining about it, like why? I just don't understand it from a parent perspective. Why would they do it? I just, at the end of the day, it's in one ear out the other, as Rob said, right? You just take it on the chin, accept what happened, and work to get better. Everything happens for a reason. Your season's gonna have bumps and bruises throughout the journey. At the end of the day, whatever happens in a blowout loss, you're gonna be better for it.
Clint Hurdle always had the great comeback, as the Pirates so oftentimes did, lost on the wrong side of a blowout, and he said, "You know what? We'll shower it off. We'll come back again tomorrow." So,
yep.
Sebring, a proud tradition, and especially in basketball, they will be back. Don't worry about them. And just from a parent's perspective or a fan's perspective, just take a breath. Nobody did anything wrong. It was a game, and both teams played hard. And at the end of the day, everybody, to me, in watching the footage of that game, did everything they needed to do to go about it the right way. So I don't see any problem in anything of that situation. Sebring played hard. Springfield played hard. Everybody got what they wanted out of that game, and now we move on, as we should. We move on today to 24 games. Guys, nobody more excited than me. Let's take a look at this beautiful graphic that is presented by our friends over at Gipper tonight on YSN. Let's start at 6:45. Hubbard and Struthers. My goodness, that's going to be a good ball game. That's a little bit early, 6:45. Akron St. V's playing Cheney. If you're not watching this game on its own, you are out of your mind. Like, I'm going to have 6 tabs open on my own computer and call a game, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on St. Vincent St. Mary's at Cheney. That's going to be – Cheney can make some real big waves in the state with a win over those boys tonight. Let's go Bristol and Wyndham. That game at 7. Also, Camel and Brookfield. That game at 7 as well. Canfield and Ursuline at 7. Champion Newton Falls. Crestview at Liberty. East at West Branch. Also, East Palestine at Latonia. That's where I'll be. Edison and Beaver Local. Garfield at LeBray. Warren, JFK, host Howland. Let's flip it over to Indian Creek at East Liverpool. Liverpool looking to bounce back off that loss to Lincoln Park. Unbelievable team over in Western PA and Midland. Jackson Milton taking on Lowville. Let's see if Lowville's the real deal. I want to see what Lowville team comes out tonight. Jefferson at South Range. Lake at Boardman. Donnie, you're all over that one tonight. Lisbon, Valley Christian. Louisville at Fitch. Mineral Ridge and McDonald. Niles and Poland. Sebring and Springfield Part 2. Then we got Wellsville and Columbiana. Western Reserve and Waterloo and Girard and Lakeview. All of these games available for absolutely no charge to you. ysnlive.com/live. Click the link that you want to go to and have fun. Enjoy. Gentlemen, I promised you I would ask you the question, what's the team that you just dislike the most growing up and to this day that you cannot stand, can barely get it out of your mouth when you say their name? CJ, we'll start with you.
So I actually have 2, and the first one is the St. Louis Cardinals. I can't stand the Cardinals. Their devil magic that they have every year, that they just seem to find random civilians and turn them into 20-plus home run hitters. It's just absurd. Every year, it's absurd. The other is the Chicago Cubs. And it's not because of the players. I actually enjoyed watching Rizzo and Baez and all them. They were a fun team. It's their fans. The Chicago Cubs fans were the biggest bandwagon group of a-holes you've ever met. I mean, just you don't win a World Series for 108 years, and all of a sudden you're the New York Yankees. It was insane to me. It was insane to me for 5 years. Thank God they're going to be bad for a couple years now, so they can go hide in their cave until 2026, whenever they finally make a playoff run again.
That was the most fired up I've ever seen CJ.
Love
that was
it.
like a 10.
Love it.
Amo.
Yankees. I hate being their farm system. That's one. For football, Ravens. I absolutely can't stand the Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, the team up north, I'll never, ever wear those colors.
We got to chit chat about something you put on social media about the CJ Stroud thing, and put Ohio State, or the Ohio State as they like to be referred to. Like, you'd never see this from Ohio State whenever they said that stuff. Yes, you see it all the time. You guys had how long it's been since Michigan's beaten you? Like,
yeah, we don't say it on national TV though. When have you ever heard Kirk Herbstreit or any Ohio State guys
Kirk Herbstreit
belittle
is the
team up north?
He's on the other team now. Like he's on the everybody else train, not the Ohio State train anymore.
Yeah, but there's a reason why Kirk Herbstreit's calling games and not the classless Desmond Howard.
Oh my gosh. This is a perfect example of Ohio State thinking that they're above Michigan. You guys are the same breed. You just wear different colors. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah. It's the same as a Steelers fan and a Browns fan. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. 100%.
No, Browns know we suck.
Do you?
I'm with Amo. It's 100% emphatically that team up north and that team in Maryland, the Ravens, because of what they did to my heart. My dad, God rest his soul, what they did to him. What that owner did. And not only that, they took the best general manager in all of football in Ozzie Newsome.
Oh,
I mean, my God, can you imagine? You wouldn't care because you're a Squealers fan, but my goodness, having Ozzie Newsome as a GM for all those years and actually winning a Super Bowl, it breaks my heart. I'll never, ever, ever respect that team. When Lamar Jackson went down, I was like, yay. And then I was like, oh my God, your backup quarterback's better than Lamar Jackson. He passes better. This is awesome. So, yeah.
Rob?
I don't share the same disdain as my colleagues. I mean, I was like, it's like the team didn't just wake up and say, hey, man, y'all want to go to Baltimore?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget Modell because of that.
Right.
But when it comes to teams, when I used to work at BJ Allen Fireworks, it was when you were in Pittsburgh, when you were in the docks, it was Pittsburgh and Cleveland. There was no other, and it was so bad. I mean, like when Pittsburgh blew that, or when Cleveland blew that 24-7 game in the first round back in, I didn't go to work the next day. It was that bad, and the stuff that we got from Pittsburgh, the stuff that they got from us once in a while, it was pretty bad. The other, seeing, have not seen Michigan win in so many years, and now seeing those little snide comments that they're kind of putting in our face right now, it's just renewing my hatred for that, not just that school, but that state in general. I don't care. I'm actually, I'll tell you right now, I'm not hating on Hutchinson. I'll say that. That dude, when you watch him play defensive end, how the hell is that guy not in Ohio State? He looks exactly like the Bosa brothers,
He should be number one pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I'm more of a football fan than anything. So even like Michigan, when I see them play the SEC, as much as I can't stand that school, I still want to see them do well against that conference too, just to represent the Big Ten, and that's it. So I go back and forth, but definitely during BJ Allen Firework days, Pittsburgh Steelers, the hatred was very high. Not so much anymore. But of course, renewed with Michigan. That team up north.
You guys are going to be surprised. I'm going NBA team. And I'm not even so much as an NBA fan, but when I see these teams' colors,
no.
hate the Los Angeles Lakers. I hate them with a passion because I love Kobe, love him to death. But if he could have played for any other team, I don't care if he played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, come on, like, despise them. I don't know why. I didn't like Magic Johnson. I really didn't like the Celtics either, if we're doing that. And I don't really like the NBA in general. But give me some Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm all right. But the Lakers, I've never been a guy for the Lakers. Ever, ever, ever. Their colors, their swagger. Oh, we have 57 million championships. That's because you didn't play anybody. You didn't play anybody. And you're doing it for the Lakers. Okay? Like, get on with it. I had a little thing with the Bills there for about 13 or 14 months that I didn't like the Bills. But the Ravens overall, I think that's the team that I have a jersey only because it's Derek Wolf's. And they didn't have any of his Denver Broncos jerseys. So that's the only reason I have a Ravens jersey. But we're up against the clock, so let's do a quick round of our friend over at Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Residential, commercial, and electrical. You go to DickeyElectric.com. Let's go, CJ.
Yeah, so just a real quick one today. Positive, I get to go down to Beaver Local and do the Edison Beaver Local game. So excited about that. I went going there last week was actually the first time I've ever been to Beaver Local. Their gym is beautiful. It looks brand new. I mean, their school, it looks gorgeous. All the decorations they have in there for Christmas time. It's a wonderful school.
Love it. Amo.
I got positive, negative, positive. Doing Western Reserve, Waterloo tonight. Boys basketball should be a good one. Negative spark. Just when the Browns get my hope back, they yank it right out from under me every time. And you would think after 28 years that I would learn. No, here we go.
At least you can go on a rant on Sunday night and talk about how unfortunate it was for everybody else to have crappy teams. Donnie, go ahead.
I mean, Amo kind of like dampened my mood. What the heck with all the? I mean, the statement that came out about all those offensive players with COVID. It's like, are you kidding me? And they never play the Raiders well. You know what I mean? I still feel confident that they're going to win on Saturday. However, it's just like, come on. It's almost like when the Ravens kicked that onside kick and hit the fullback. Fullback's like, oh, there's a ball coming my way. Okay, let me turn sideways. It's like, come on. But no, I'm gonna go with the positive. Yeah, right. I'm gonna go with the positive spark. I get to call the Boardman Uniontown Lake game tonight, which should be a fantastic game.
That's gonna be a good one.
Lake beat Camp McKinley pretty good, which Camp McKinley is down this year, but they lost a close one to Jackson, and Jackson's always studded out in basketball. So it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. The Boardman student section has come out and really showed out. I mean, tons of them have showed out. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for Cheney to actually host Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's, and I'm hoping Romo's on the call, right? Romo and Jamie?
Sir. Yep.
Oh, man, those guys, listen, no knock on any of us that call games. I'm sorry, CJ. Sorry, Amo. Sorry, myself. Sorry, DJ.
I'm not
sorry,
on their
DJ.
level.
Their level of excitement is through the roof, and they are awesome.
So well with each other.
They do. They do.
I mean, they're going to see some dunks tonight.
Yeah. Listen, again, if you're tuning into one game, that's the game you tune into. I'm sorry to everybody else. There might be better games, but that is going to be entertaining as get out. And just to hear the excitement in their voices when these dunks go down, it's going to be bananas. Rob.
This is for the people that just want to, jump on social media and go crazy about stuff they don't really know what's going on about. And, me personally, I just got out of Facebook jail. I lasted about 48 hours, got thrown right back in for just something so stupid that actually wasn't true. But these guys are allowed to just wake up, get their coffee, and just start saying the world's dumbest things here and there. And here's my thing. If you already know all the facts and you know the story and you know exactly what's going on, okay, that's fine. We'll like I said, we could debate, we can go back and forth, we can do whatever you want to do. If you don't, and let's say you're a fan of YSN or a fan of what YSN is doing for all these local high schools and their athletes and getting their names out, you can't be cold or hot with us. Like when it comes to that, you can't be all in and then see a post and all of a sudden you don't agree with it. Now you're going to start bashing people. If any one of you think that any person with YSN was being malicious by sharing that score, reevaluate your approach at everything when it comes to what you think, the differences between what you think and what you know about what's going on. And that really is it. So that goes out to those people. Listen, it's pretty cut and dry. We post scores. We give everybody all the information about these local high schools. Nobody was being malicious. And the fact that DJ even has to explain why he did it is, again, proof of the fact that a lot of people are softer than Roseanne's son DJ now. So get over that and move on.
That's one of those few moments where I wish they would have named him something different in that show. I'm just saying. So mine's gonna be real simple. It's the great announcers, the great crews, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes here at YSN that nobody really understands. The writing, the graphics, all that stuff, and the people that do it. That stuff just doesn't pop up. It's not a genie that you snap your fingers and it happens. There's people working till 1 o'clock in the morning on stories for YSN and I'm grateful. I don't get to say it enough publicly. I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for the people that appreciate it, sharing our post. Whether you agree with it or not, that one post. It's what happened. It's a fact. It's a score. That's what it was. We didn't go into it, and we didn't write a story on purpose. That is one thing that we will draw the line on, because that story will garner way more attention than any one little score will. So that's why we put the score, let people know about it, and of course we do the other scores, all scores for the Valley. So we will have 24 of them, as a matter of fact, tonight. So enjoy the night on the network. We appreciate you being in overtime with us here today. I hope you guys have a great 23 hours ahead, and we'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here on YSN. Scotty Mincher will join us. We'll see you guys.